We weren't even physically in the door of the thrift store before my son was distracted by these trunks. I still owe him one, but it's not going to be one of these. I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle, and I went thrifting. I had grocery shopping to do and errands to run, and in between all of the things that had to be done, I fit in visits to 7 different thrift stores. This is the highlights and the fun stuff. I didn't know how well my camera battery was going to hold out, so I just turned it on for the good stuff and didn't walk through the entire stores and then pare it down like I usually do. This is the store that always has a ton of intriguing couches. We'll call them that. I like this one. It has an interesting shape and it has little houses on it. And it's kind of a heavy wicker, so if I had been inclined to want to bring it home, I think a house with 3 sons probably is not the best place for that couch. I need furniture that is as close to indestructible as I can find. They had a lot of antiques this trip, and look at these little twin beds. The light through the window isn't doing them any favors, but they were pretty and in decent shape, and I really think one of those would be adorable in a guest room, especially the poster one. I've been planning on replacing the bed that is in my sewing room because it came with the house, and I'm telling myself the answer is not to put another bed in there. That little wooden table with the railing, I have seen those so many times over the past 4 or 5 years. The shelves were disappointingly bare. I thought I had a super good chance of finding what I was looking for at this store, but no luck. I found some fun things to look at, and this is what, September 7th, 2021 when I filmed this, so I don't know why it was so empty. Look at this clock. It just ticks all the boxes. It has jugs, it has a spinning wheel. Oh my gosh, that is a little basket of yarn that I didn't see. It's got candles, it's plastic. I talked myself out of it, and I love this painting. We have been seeing these sporadically for the past few years, and they're always faded out and green. Check the craft section to look for abandoned quilting projects, and if green or if yellow had been half price on this day, I would have brought home a bunch of yarn to make myself a mustard yellow afghan. At full price, it was a good deal, but I already have yarn for a white afghan and a green afghan and a whole lot of other yarn, which you've seen if you watch the channel. Quinn spent the day ambushing me with cornucopias. He's getting more annoying at it, if that's possible. Milk glass beer steins. I don't think that this is something I have seen before, and you can't see the design very well with the lighting in the store. Bronze baby shoes just fascinate me. I've got a single shoe that's older than this one and a little more battered, and I've got the idea now that if I ever find our daughter's itty bitty hiking boots that might be in the attic, I'm going to get some metallic spray paint and see what I can do. That milk glass didn't intrigue me enough for me to crawl down on the floor and get a better look at it. Here's a whole set of those teacups that I don't think I had seen before about a month ago, and now I'm finding them all over the place. And some very, very pretty sparkly pink stuff. If anyone has a spice set like this, let me know. Is it functional? Because I'm thinking something like that would be really cute on the wall of our old farmhouse kitchen, but I would need for it to be practical in order for me to justify it. I was looking for resin houses because now that I know that it's the David Winter houses that I've been half remembering from my teen years, I thought, I want to find some. Aren't those the cutest little pilgrim mice you have ever seen in your life? And hobnail milk glass candlesticks, those would be so pretty in a mantelscape or a tablescape or something. I don't have the mantle or table that would go with that. Mine are both a lot more rustic, but I like the idea. And here's some more milk glass tucked back into a corner. I should have counted milk glass on this trip because there was so much of it. Can you identify yarn through a bag from 3 feet away? I think that maybe that's a sign that I've got a lot of yarn in my life, but it's okay. I hope you're not afraid of clowns. These are hideous nightmare fuel. I don't know if someone donated a collection because here are 2 more shelves of clowns in the same store. So either the art glass clowns inspired someone to pull together every other clown in the store, or somebody had all these in the same house. It's not the first time that I have found a collection of clowns at the thrift store. And I mean, they're definitely more intriguing than collections of pigs or teddies or the things you usually see. This little wagon had some dates, and I think it said from Independence, Missouri to Independence, Oregon. And it had little things hanging off it. Somebody must have made that to commemorate an important anniversary of the Oregon Trail. I've been trying for years to get my husband to build a bat house, but he tells me we have bats living in the barn and they don't need a separate house. And I suppose he has a point. We are providing a habitat for them, and they certainly don't do any harm out in the barn. Quilts draw me from across the room, and these were pretty. I think the embroidered Sunbonnet Sue and Overall Sam quilt was fairly new based on the fabric it was sashed with. This Grandma's Flower Garden was absolutely vintage, and someone had taken some really spectacularly ugly fabrics and used them to make gorgeous blocks. I checked out the double knit polyester. This is almost as ugly as the one my grandma made, but they're great for keeping warm on winter nights when the power is out. Not for the price they had on this one. For $60, I'll collect double knit polyester and make my own quilt. This planter, it's telling a story. I'm not sure what exactly the story is, but it was cute. And I was very tempted by this print in an old frame. I think the colors had faded out over the years, but isn't it cute? Cute is not the word I want. This Second Empire Victorian house, on the other hand, is cute, and I don't think I have ever seen one anywhere near as cheerful as that. I swear the unicorn is almost as bad as the clowns. It was huge, and it had silk flowers glued to it and angel decals on it, and I just have so many questions about why. It looks like someone had gotten rid of their unicorn collection. Different store from the clowns. Ooh, is that another bronze baby shoe there? I was distracted by the unicorns and not paying attention while I was actually in the store. It is amazing how many things you spot after you get home while you're editing the videos. More milk glass. I think this is the stuff that was in the locked cabinet the last time I visited this same store. There are a few pieces they didn't have before. I like the picture. One of these days I'm going to have to get one of those because Grandma didn't have, she had a very specific collection. I think that's how she kept it in check. Here is another milk glass beer stein. You get a little better look at the detail on that one. And I could have had a scissor holder with a lid to keep the orts in. That's not a bad idea. I'd have to buy a bunch more pairs of scissors to keep in it. I don't know if that's a bad idea. If you're in your mid or late 50s, did your dentist or doctor have these Bible books in the waiting room? because I swear I remember these from every waiting room in my childhood. And I don't know if that's just because the particular doctors we went to. I remember they really creeped me out. I'm not sure if this has the really disturbing story about the little boy who stole the communion wafer, or if that was another book by the same publisher. But I know I read it in the waiting room of the dentist's office. So I wonder if there was some marketing thing like they used to market the Highlights magazines. Let me know if you remember these. And let me know if you read them and if they creeped you out a little bit more than the rest of the religious stuff you were exposed to as a child. Grandpa and Grandma had nightstands that were identical to this. I had not thought of those in years. They probably sold them off when they moved to the coast 30 years ago. And I'm a little bit nostalgic about it, but also not nostalgic enough to get it. This had people riding camels, and I couldn't get video because the angle was so horrible and there were people standing under it. I also really have questions about this bedroom set. Not bad questions. I'm just curious whether this was how it was manufactured or if someone did all this painting on their own. It is pretty. I hope it finds a good home in some little girl's bedroom or someone's sewing room. It's something that needs to stay in this world. It is cute. And I am totally getting rid of the French provincial stuff that is in my daughter's room because I'm sick of it. It was mine when I was a kid, but that piece is way cuter than I had. Not a resin house, but a really cute house nonetheless. I love all the little natural materials that they use to make it. And I'm not sure if this is something that somebody just made on their own or if it was mass produced. Look at the little wire sashing in the windows. I like that a lot. And then I found a bunch of ceramic houses. That's about as close to resin as I got for the day. There was one resin lighthouse, but it wasn't even neat enough for me to pull out the camera and take a picture of it. This little place was cute too. See, I had to buy one little house teapot. The rest of these they don't call to me. And this is confirmation that I think that someday I will find some David Winter cottages because look at the extent of this Precious Moments collection. There are members only figurines here. There are a lot of members only figurines, and my mom used to collect them. You had to find a store that sold them. You had to get on a waiting list. It was a bit of a hassle to get them every year, so someone went to some effort, and I really hope that whoever owned these went through her whole life loving them, and if she did and then her kids or grandkids didn't want them, that's the problem of whoever she left them to. I prefer to imagine that their owner enjoyed having them. More hobnail milk glass. Like I said, there was so much milk glass. 7 thrift stores over the course of an afternoon, 2 resin houses, neither of which was remotely close to what I was looking for, and more milk glass than I would have imagined I could find. Let me know if you saw something that would have come home with you. I left empty-handed. Thanks for watching.